Brothers and sisters, when you hear his story, you'll cry. He grew up in a place where he didn't have food and drink. Rarely, barely any. He tells me that when I was 10, I would go home, and if we had a bread and water, we would be lucky. If we had a potato, we'd be lucky. I grew up hungry. They grew up not knowing Allah, much about Allah. Not much Islam, barely any. Until he came to this country. And he said it was in college that I began to find Allah through others. And thank you, he says, for being there to help me turn my life around. When he learned about Salah, he didn't understand wudu. And when we told him that he had to pray, he said, my goodness, he was so happy. But then later we told him there's another prayer. He says, what, more than one prayer a day? At the age of, imagine, 18, 19, had no idea, 5 times a day. And he didn't understand that I had to make wudu for them. But he was full of joy. He found Allah. What did it take? Others around him, mentors who cared for him. This man, brothers and sisters, is so remarkable. He dreamed of becoming something, but needed somebody to believe in him. And you know what has happened in his life? He's in his mid-20s. Mid-20s. This letter he sent me was a month ago, when he received news that he got a top post as a career diplomat. As a career diplomat. Posts that are given only to a handful of people in this country. And he says, I can't believe what Allah has done with me. That he helped me fulfill my potential like this, but it required other hands to help me find myself, find Allah, and he brought his faith into what he does. And he said, may Allah make me like Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. And he even called his son Yusuf, because Yusuf was there to help his nation, his people, his community. Amazing journey. Wow, when I look at him, I'm in awe of that seed that became this tree. Why and how? Because someone believed in him. Someone encouraged him. Somebody gave him hope, inspired him, and made him find Allah. Wow, Allah amazes us. When we're present as mentors, Allah says, I am the most compassionate, and you need to deliver this to others, especially young people. It is Allah who describes himself as Ar-Rafi', the one who lifts. Each and every one of us, we need it. It is he who sent us Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as the ultimate mentor. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ wasn't just standing up to give khutbahs. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was present as a mentor in each and every soul's life. He gave everyone attention. Listened to the problems of people around him. He didn't compare two people and say you're not like Abu Bakr and you're not like Umar. Never said that. He saw each person as a potential tree. He saw the worth of every person and came down and met them where they were and understood their capacities. He didn't burden them so much that he would hold the hands of people and declare that he loved them, to give them that inspiration, as Mu'adh ibn Jabal, who said, one day I was praying with the Prophet ﷺ, and when he was done, he turned to me and gave me his eyes, looked at me, and he held my hand. Can you imagine holding the hand of a young person, a sister or brother who are desperate for that from you and me, to believe in them? And he said, Wallahi ya Mu'adh, ya Mu'adh, ya Mu'adh, Wallahi, Wallahi, inni la uhibbuk. Wallahi, I love you, Wallahi, I love you, Wallahi, I love you. Made them feel loved. That's mentorship. It's not just lecturing someone. It's not pretending. And how many people in our lives make us feel that we're little? Even some of the teachers who put on this facade that makes us feel that we're lesser than them, that they're closer to Allah than us. That's not mentorship. That's not the spirit of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about whom Allah says, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. He said, indeed there has come to you a prophet from you, a human being. Allah didn't make him an angel or made of the substance of angels. You know why? So that we can relate to him. A mentor is someone you can relate to, you can connect with. They appear human. They're not afraid to acknowledge their mistakes and even cry. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ cried in front of others. When he lost Khadija, he cried in front of others saying, I miss Khadija. So people saw him and they connected with him. They didn't see him as someone they cannot relate to. That's a mentor. He smiled, he cried, he made du'as for others, he laughed and played with them. That's how he was. That's a mentor. So Allah says, that's the gift that I gave you. And I gave him a heart and a soul that is so compassionate and so gentle. It's a gift of Allah. No one can mentor others and help them grow and fulfill their potential until they make them feel safe, make them feel loved, until they counsel them, until they're present in their lives. And that's one of the ultimate gifts. It turns out you and I need it today. Our children need it. And many have lost their faith.